What is it that you got out of this morning?
I think it's always good to hear people's views in terms of where the city is at the moment. Obviously, we've been discussing the MIPIM Festival, the Property and Investment Festival, and we were able to look at what's happening as far as the devolution agenda is concerned.
MIPIM is a business event, which is a property event, originally set in the south of France, obviously for 25 years. So it's a commercial event organised by the organisers, but it's to bring together cities, city regions, developers, businesses interested in property and development. The whole of that industry comes together for a week in the south of France, so it's a great excuse for a bit of sunshine in March. But actually, it's a sign of the economy that the organisations are wanting to come together and promote themselves. That's what it's about. So we promote regions. So you get Liverpool and Manchester and Sheffield, but you also get London, and you get Russia, and you get Germany, and you get predominantly Europe, but it's Japan as well. So it's an opportunity to promote yourselves, to put yourselves on a world stage, to say we are open for business and we are the place to come and invest.
So you said open for business. I mean, what difference would I see on the street if we did or didn't go?
What difference would you not...
As a man on the street, what would I, if we didn't go to MIPIM, what difference would I see?
Well, you wouldn't see some of the investment that's happening in this city, some of the external investment that's coming in. And you can look at some of our hotel developments that's growing out of connections at MIPIM. So that's what I mean. You won't see a major difference. You wouldn't be able to say, well, actually, that was there because of MIPIM. But it's about that sort of the ability for businesses who are looking to invest. Where do we choose to invest? Do we go to London? Do we go to some of it could be St. Petersburg or Moscow, or do we look at Liverpool? That's why, and Liverpool's promoting itself, and that's why those international investors come and will come to Liverpool.
So what difference have we seen this year on MIPIM from last year?
Well, I think the whole agenda has been stepped up this year in terms of presence, in terms of the quality of the narrative around that. I think the quality of representation has gone up a notch or two. Quality of inquiries has gone up, and I think the whole agenda around Liverpool in the context of a Northern powerhouse has gone to a completely different level. So I think we've kind of matured on from a year. I think the presence was much more stronger, and the results are stronger as a result. So we just got to keep on building on that.
And we talked there earlier, well, you talked earlier about us changing the stand on a regular basis, yes, and make it look interesting. Is that very important to you?
Well, yeah, because I think Liverpool's whole brand essence is dynamic creativity. That's what the city is renowned for. So we have to represent that in everything that we do. So if we just turn up with the same looking thing every year, then that's not very dynamic and it's not very creative. So we deliberately took that stance that we would change our presence every year. We would be a place that people want to go to see what we've done this year to what we did last year, yeah? And I think that definitely bore fruit for us in 15, and I've absolutely no doubt in 16 it's going to look brilliant. So we're really looking forward to what I'm sure will be a hugely successful MIPIM.
So I think when you were talking about MIPIM this morning, we were hearing people say, yeah, we can see why Liverpool are there, but we really start to need to firm up what the objectives are, what the strategy is, and how the private sector can get involved to support those initiatives. And on the devolution agenda, again, fabulous that it now appears our 6 local authority leaders have signed up to a devolution deal. But does the private sector feel involved? What have other stakeholders got to add? How can we actually provide some added value to those conversations? Because actually, the group of 12 business organisations that have come together as far as the devolution case is concerned have been far more coordinated and united in their response than the 6 local authority leaders have. And I don't think we've made enough of that as a city region.
I think downtown have, with the presence of downtown at the event in MIPIM UK, I think by holding events like that, like this one this morning, raises the profile on opportunities for business. And downtown can help us greatly in terms of selling that message. Hopefully then businesses will see the value of partnering with a larger group of businesses that we do at MIPIM or other events as well. And we start to take out the message, because the message is far stronger the greater number that we are.
Well, the devolution deal hopefully will be finalised tomorrow. We understand that George Osborne is in town to actually give some further information on that package, and therefore we will start to move very quickly towards an elected mayor. The election for that will be May 2017. In between times there'll be an interim mayor, so we'll start to have a figurehead and some leadership pretty soon. I would guess as early as January 2016. As far as MIPIM is concerned, the next big step is March. That's when the next Carn Festival is concerned, and then the London Exhibition in London. And of course, before all of that, we've got the International Festival for Business in the city in June and July. So an awful lot of activity. I think that we've got certainly a private sector that wants to get involved and engaged. Now what we've got to do is coordinate a response that coordinates the attitude of a private sector that is desperate to get some positives out of all these things that we're doing, with a public sector which quite honestly still seems to be dragging its feet and seems to be a little way behind where the private sector is. Our members, I think, are the most active in terms of this particular agenda. We've been engaged with this for a long time. We've been asking for an elected mayor for the city region for 12 years. It was one of our first campaigning activities, so it's great that it's come to fruition. A little bit ironic that it's taken a Conservative Chancellor to deliver it, but there you go. We don't care who delivers the goods as long as they're delivered. But in the end, what we now need is for that devolution agenda to materialise into genuine things on the ground that can begin to help businesses grow and create jobs and economic growth. And therefore it means downtown members saying to our political leaders and the combined authority and whoever the new elected mayor is going to be, these are the sort of things that need to be delivered upon, these are the sort of resources you need to be asking for, and these are the sort of issues that you need to start to basically have a say over. And we as members of the private sector need to be shaping that agenda and those policy forums, because actually we're the ones who know best. We're at the coalface, we're the ones who are having to deliver. On the jobs front and the business support side of things, how can we start to close that gap of 18,000 businesses short of where we need to be in terms of startups? Private sector know how to do that, public sector doesn't. So that conversation needs to be far more open, far more transparent, and that's where downtown members are crucial.